Hello everyone, my name is Alex, I was quality assurance tester and scripter at Osmotic Studios. Look at that, that's me! Since we didn't like a live stream so much and I also happen to run a YouTube channel called Calimo Games, I prepared some videos for you instead. I will guide you through the coming hours, highlight some aspects of the development of the Orwell games and play them together with game designer Daniel Marx. Since we recorded all this in advance, we can only respond in the chat. You're welcome to ask questions, but we won't be able to answer them in these video clips unless you've traveled back in time and participated in an Ask Me Anything there. Then it would work. But time travel is always too complicated for me. Whatever, there should be a team member around right now, but only if you're watching this just after the LudoNarraCon started. Wow, that's confusing as well. So before I talk 3 hours about silly stuff, I would say we start with the actual program. Let's get into the world of Orwell keeping an eye on you. Hello, I'm still Alex and now I'm joined by Daniel.
Hello.
Yeah, we're gonna play Orwell keeping an eye on you now, and later we will play Orwell Ignorance is Strength. Yeah, I guess we're gonna play most of the time day 1, maybe a bit of day 2.
We'll see.
Yeah, we will see. So day 1 is free for you to play right now at Steam. You can download the demo version and you can play it by yourself, or you can watch us playing this game like we never played it before, because we never saw it before.
Of course, especially not me.
Yeah, and yeah. So we're gonna create a new profile, and keep in mind that we are Germans, and the English is not the best.
we might have very cringy accents at times,
yeah.
So
And
it just happens.
yeah. I will try to read out most of the stuff, but not everything, I guess. So
we can switch roles, like.
Yeah, we're gonna make a little role play. So let's get started. So we're gonna create a new profile. Congratulations, you have been selected for the Orwell test phase. Please create a profile. So select a profile picture. So which one do you wanna have, Daniel?
Pick anything you like. It's just feel free.
Okay.
Who you want to be?
Go with this old man here. So, what's our name? Come.
So that's how you picture me, like
yes,
an old guy.
You are an old man.
But actually, that's my favorite profile picture.
I like him. I like him here very much. So next step. So no connection. Go online to sign up for our newsletter. But we are the developers. We don't need the newsletter. So
everyone needs a newsletter.
Yeah,
come on.
But we don't.
But we can't sign up.
So if we were online, we could enter our email address here and get a nice newsletter from fellow Traveler Games.
That's right.
So
don't feel afraid to give away your data, because that's exactly what Orwell wants.
We need your data. So next step. So be diligent. Your work has to have impact. Please agree to the following terms. I am aware that my actions may severely impact the lives of the citizens of the nation. I will work thoroughly and judge objectively in the best of my belief. While working, I will adhere the laws and jurisdiction of the nation. Okay, I agree to these terms stated above. So, finish. Let's get started. We're gonna see a little intro video, and then we are back in the game with you. So, now we're here in the game, and there is Symes. And he says, "You're online, good." Okay, good, continue. "Call me Symes, I will be your advisor on Orwell. Together we will form both the first and the last line of defense against terrorism. For the test phase, you're one of the first people to try out the Orwell system under real circumstances, selected from thousands of applicants from across the globe. Oh, we are special. Okay, normally congratulations would be in order, but as you can see from the footage, there has been an incident. So let's get started." So yeah, we saw, what did we saw?
We saw an explosion happening at the Freedom Plaza, which is a location in our nation, which is called The Nation.
Ooh.
Yeah, we're really good at making up names. Very obviously. And yeah, a terrible terrorist attack has happened and several people died, as you will soon see. And you are tasked with finding out basically what has happened and who did it. And there is one suspect, but Symes is going to tell you about it in a second.
So let's get started. So I've activated a reader tool for you. So its purpose is storing bookmarks to online websites and documents for easy access, and to highlight when there is new information to be investigated. First, I want you to be informed of the situation. Our leading newspaper, the National Beholder, will bring you up to speed. So that's the interface of Orwell.
Yeah, so basically the whole game takes place in this UI, and you're this kind of agent in service of the government of the nation, and you're supposed to spy on people using the surveillance system called Orwell. And the first tool you get is the reader.
I'll click on it, and we're gonna see the bookmarks.
It's basically kind of a browser, but it will automatically give you access to documents, which may also be private documents, like private online profiles and stuff like that.
So we're gonna click on headlines, and there it is. Feel free to browse the National Beholder. I've activated the profiler over the unknown person file once you're done. So I'm not gonna click on that because we're gonna watch a little bit of this National Beholder.
So this is the first website you get, which is a news website, and you can just read stuff on there you want to read about, like this movie shooting completed, which is absolutely crucial to read if you want to be up to speed on your task.
100 Grey Shadows.
Yeah.
Hilberry, shooting of Grey Shadows saga lasting 4 years. Lasting 4 years. Finalized. Third part of the saga. The saga to hit movie theaters next Valentine's Day. But it's interesting. It's background information, so you could read it. You could let that be.
No, you have to read it.
Oh yeah. Okay, good.
No. Let's not really.
After a lengthy, come on. You can read it now. Just pause the live stream. It's gonna
pause the live stream.
It's gonna work. Believe me. It's gonna work. So make a screenshot of this, and I'm gonna read some more interesting stuff. So that's the bomb attack at the Freedom Memorial.
Yeah, this is the report on the bombing you're supposed to read. So it gives you a bit of background information what has happened there.
Detonation destroys the Freedom Memorial in Bonton. 3 people killed, 5 severely injured. Terrorist ambitions suspected as mysterious letter reaches authorities.
Yeah.
So, here now more information about that, but that's enough for us right now because we know what this is about. So I'm gonna click on the unknown person. That's the profiler, he said. So.
Yeah, the profiler is... Yeah, Symes is now popping up, but let me explain what the profiler is about. The profiler is that thing on the left side.
Let's skip him. So yes, you can...
Let's skip Symes, yeah. So on the left side, you see the profiler, which stores all information you have gathered on your suspects. So at the beginning, it's completely empty, as you see. It's an unknown person. But as Symes just said, there's one suspicious person, the blue-haired woman.
Yeah, we saw in the intro, yeah.
Exactly. And he wants you to gather information on that blue-haired person.
take a look at the arrest record. So we're gonna see we see here little star. So it's
notification icon that you got a new document.
And here it is because we did not read this stuff here.
Yeah, it just reminds you that there's something to read.
Now it's away. So Watergate, Cassandra, July 10th. Okay. There she is.
There she is, and Symes is he's very talkative in the beginning. We'll get slightly less talkative later.
The highlighted elements in the record are pieces of data that are able to be extracted. We call these elements data chunks. Hovering over data chunks will reveal their relevance to the case and any connections or information it may influence. Okay, drag and drop all data chunks from the police database into a profile.
Exactly. So yeah, you got all these little pieces of information which are highlighted in blue, and you can click on them, then you see what this information contains. Like this is her name, so you will just
it will
just add
the
name.
So let's see that. Oh,
so if you drag and drop that to the folder to the profiler, it will add her name.
It worked.
Fantastic.
Fantastic. It's a
great technological achievement. Absolutely.
It's a great game. So awesome. So we have now not her portrait. So we need to get this. So it's in the beginning. He says we need to
it's just he wants you just to adapt the information from the police file into Orwell.
We get used to the gameplay mechanics. Very good. Pictures and names are crucial information for Orwell to identify a person. Information in data chunks can only become a data chunk when it can clearly be assigned to the target person. Add the reasons for Miss Watergate's prior arrest that has just been unlocked. We'll need this info to progress. So, okay.
So
charge.
Now he wants to that you add the charge.
Assault on a police officer. That's rude. Report suspect was arrested on site after Officer Franklin had been struck by an unknown object and became unresponsive. The protesters at the origin of the assault were forcibly moved, where the suspect was found kneeling and weeping on the ground. When asked to lay on the ground with her hands behind her back, the suspect cooperated immediately. So she threw something at him.
So what you know about her is she was previously arrested because this assault on a police officer, because she threw something at him, and that's why she has become a suspect. But Symes will reveal a bit more information in a second.
Ooh, it sounds like a spoiler. So, uploading. One related document found. Yeah, okay. Good. With the data you extracted from the police record, a new document can now be accessed. Now let me ask you a question. Do you believe in coincidence?
I don't know. Do you?
Do you?
No. I don't.
Maybe. I do. So... I do not. Oh, Daniel, are you Symes? Maybe.
Yeah, maybe.
Find data revealing where she attacked the police officer, and you will see what I mean. So now we're gonna have a new thing here. Is this woman a terrorist? Oh, there she is again. So now we have little text here. So I could now just scroll down and upload everything I gonna see here, but that's not the way you should play the game.
No,
right?
I mean, we can't force you to read this, of course, and you're not supposed to read everything, or you don't have to, but you should, of course, to enjoy the story, you should get a bit into it, take your time reading stuff, and think about what you upload, because what you upload is going to have consequences. Not now, because now you still have to upload everything basically, but this will change soon. And then the game kind of depends, or how the story goes down depends on what you choose to upload.
Yeah, it's more like a tutorial at this moment, because
we're still early on.
Yeah, it's the beginning. Yeah. So, I will read out Bonton, the case that keeps the media and public guessing. Cassandra W. Oh, maybe it's Cassandra Watergate, I guess. Pictured above. Yeah, maybe. Who had allegedly injured a police officer several 2 weeks ago, is still being held in police custody. The young woman is accused of having hit the victim's head with a large brick. Oh, a brick. Okay. That hurts. The incident occurred during a rampage at the Freedom Plaza as part of a demonstration. Okay, yeah, you see the Freedom Memorial here in the background. I guess that's...
Which is the memorial which was destroyed,
that's the
if you remember
here.
correctly.
Yeah, you see there. Yeah, okay.
And she's been at a protest.
As a part of a demonstration against the newest amendments to the government's model project, the Safety Bill.
Yes. So she's been there before, and during a demonstration she hit a police officer with a brick, which is why she is now a prime suspect, because she turned up directly before the explosion at the exact same spot.
So the incident occurred. Yeah, okay, I will upload this now. So the exact same location as the assault. Then she turns up there right before the explosion. Surely not a coincidence. As you know, Miss Watergate is still running around freely. We should find out why. We should also gather more background information on her. I want to know who we are really dealing with. Okay, so...
Yeah. So your task is basically now find out everything you can about Cassandra Watergate and why... Yeah, what happened to her before, why she attacked the police officer, why she turned up there now, and basically did she perpetrate this bombing or not? We're gonna find out.
Did she?
I don't know. Did she?
Please hold the line. So, due to a chaotic nature of the scene, police have not yet been able to connect the crime to the accused. Cassandra W. Watergate, who is an artist by profession, has denied the accusations completely and has asked her fans to show their support. A trial has now been scheduled for mid-August. The case received nationwide attention when Catherine Delacroix I hate French names. I hate them. So hard.
Sorry.
It's hard. So I will not offend anyone. I don't want to do. But Secretary of Security labeled the alleged perpetrator alongside the other writers as anti-governmental terrorists.
Yeah.
So, okay.
So what do you know from the data chunk is that she's an artist.
Yeah, artist.
Right? That will add her profession, her occupation.
So we're gonna upload that. Let's see what happens. One related document found. Oh yes! One who does street art by blowing memorials to pieces by any chance.
Yeah. Symes might be a bit biased. I don't know. Do you think he's biased?
Maybe a bit. So great, you have found another document. Before we go on, let's clarify your job and how it affects mine, shall we? So that's basically
he's now explaining his role and your role.
Yeah, right. And that's
after that the game goes a bit out of the tutorial mode and you're a bit more free to move on.
So you have extracted all the info I already knew about Miss Watergate. Starting now, I'm going into this case blind. The Orwell Ethical Codex dictates that investigators like yourself, so we are the investigators, are the only ones allowed to access the documents of target persons. Advisors like me only get to see the data provided by the investigators. We will then draw conclusions and request action. Your primary job is to provide information you deem important. Never give away incorrect or misleading data. You may hit disable on a data chunk you don't want to pass to Orwell. However, some data chunks might be necessary to progress on the case.
Yeah. So what he basically is saying is he will only get to see what you send him. So only what you upload. he will be able to base his actions. He can request actions like, okay, we'll make an arrest on somebody, and he can only base that on the data you upload. So you gotta be really careful what you give him, because he's forced to he's forced to interpret that and make decisions based on that.
Yeah, okay. So why did you choose to do that like that? Because you could also have done it like, you're the investigator and you can send the police in and you can do that and you can do that without a person between you and the action. Without someone like Symes.
We wanted to have the player really make up their mind about what to upload and what not, because if you could just push a button and say, okay, let's make an arrest, the actual uploads wouldn't matter that much. You wouldn't have to think about, okay, what do I give away? Which information do I upload to the system? What do I want the government to know about? So on the one hand, you have this power to spy on people, but on the other hand, you feel powerless because you yourself should not be able to decide what is happening based on that data. That's kind of the feeling we wanted to give the player.
Okay, so we have Cassandra's port, and now that's a new website we see here.
Yeah, you got this portfolio because you found out she's an artist.
She's an artist.
So every time you upload something, you got a chance that you find a document that has got something to do with what you found out.
Yeah, it's like always checking for Cassandra Watergate and the connection between Cassandra Watergate and artist, and then it searches the internet and finds, oh, there's an artist page of Cassandra Watergate that could be Cassandra Watergate.
Exactly. That's how it works.
So we don't want to upload a new profile picture.
Yeah, you can.
This it's pretty good.
You didn't like that.
Yeah.
Yeah, you can disable data chunks you find, like profile pictures or anything else you find, and it's just for you to tick off what you do not want to upload. Sometimes you can re-enable it, but sometimes you, of course, will need some specific data chunks because you can't progress otherwise, because you need to find out some specifics about persons.
Yeah.
And but otherwise, with a lot of information, it's also it's optional to upload, and you can decide what you want to upload, and that affects how the story goes on.
Yeah, okay. So, hi, I'm Cassie, a colorful inhabitant of Wonderland right behind the rainbow. Glad you found me. So that's a data chunk, and it adds her.
Yeah, Orwell basically thinks or interprets this as a residence, like her address,
her address
is behind the rainbow in Wonderland, and yeah, we as people probably know that's bullshit.
Yeah, that we need to upload this because that's her actual address. So, glad you found me. Finally found to encourage that, but that's nice to have some kind of silly data chunk I could upload, but I will not do that right now. So disable. But no, I will do it right now for just for the viewers.
Yeah.
just feel it.
Just do it.
Feel the. Do it. Just do it. Oh yeah, that's her. So you're under the impression that our wonderful Miss Watergate is really living in Wonderland? Yes. yes.
That seems correct.
I just uploaded it because I was completely sure. Somehow I doubt that. Why, Symes? Why call it into people's lives are hanging in the balance here? What if you pass me something I cannot identify as wrong so easily? You have to got to be more careful next time around. So that's what you've said, because you can't upload everything.
Yeah. Basically, what this does is this is kind of the teaching data chunk, that if you upload anything, you start picking this page apart and start uploading without thinking, then it's just like a slap, a small slap. So telling you not to do that.
Not to upload everything you read, yeah. So Now I quit my. Finally found the courage to quit my dual day job, focus on my art career, and put my stuff on portfolio. That's the website here. Below you will find a hand-picked selection of my latest works. You can browse through them by clicking on the arrows on the left and the right side of the pictures below. See something you like? Why, of course. Why? Of course you do. Because it's freaking awesome, isn't it? Leave a message on my UTEL account, the Cassie92, and tell me which piece you'd like. I'm gonna make a fine art print and ship it right away to your doorstep. Best thing, free of charge. Now off you go and have fun.
Smiley face.
Smiley face. Tags professional painting, pop art, various. So before I will upload anything, I will say nice cats. But it's just one cat, so it's double nice, one cat. So that's her. The businessman's forgotten daughter. And a Christmas present for my darling.
She has some portraits going on there.
So before I do that, I'll quit my dual day job. I will upload that. Upload complete. Interesting. We should find out what that job was. Yeah, we should do that. So on my UTEL account, the Cassie92.
Yeah, UTEL is a messenger in this
Good,
world.
You found a chat handle. Yeah. That will allow us to overhear any conversation on that account. So whenever you see that, you're gonna upload that because it's a chat handle and you can spy them. The listener has now been unlocked. New conversations will appear whenever they are started. So
yeah, so congratulations, you got a new tool, the listener, and yeah, as you said, it's able to spy on communications like chats and later phone calls if you got a phone number or emails. Yeah, you can overhear that, read their emails, etc.
But now it's nothing going on here, so
nothing yet. Yeah,
we're gonna need to be a bit more into that.
What do we have here? Yeah.
That beaut is me. I was never sure about the title, though. The businessman, forgotten daughter, or victim of traditionalism in pink. What do you think? So that's a good one here.
So from that we learned she is a daughter of some entrepreneurs. Oh, and there's a dialogue coming in, like a conversation.
So with unknown person, because we don't know him or her. Hey you, hey Jossie. Smiley. I can't seem to find my credit card. I assume you took it, right? You got me, Sherlock.
Type faster.
I'm in the middle of buying all of Bunton with that platinum card I've lifted from your desk. Can't stop to move now. So that's data chunk. Stole a credit card from unknown person.
Yeah.
So I could upload that right now, but it seems like it's more like a joke to me. So I will not upload it right now.
Yeah. So you think it's a joke?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because they are not writing in any manner like that they are angry or something like that.
Yeah.
You got me, Sherlock.
But you see the problem of Orwell, because it just can't decide for itself.
It thinks
what a joke is and
that Cassandra just stole that credit card from unknown person, and now.
Yeah. You could upload it if you think it's true, but if you don't think so, you should maybe not.
So, can't stop me now. Well, luckily for you, I don't mind you going on a splurge as long as you pick up some wine for dinner. Wine? What does Joseph Langley, my fearless attorney and all-around badass, have in mind this time?
So now you got a name.
Yeah, that's a name for unknown person, and maybe it's gonna change something with that. Oh! You now have a profile of a related person. It can be accessed via the profiler. Data chunks will only appear for target persons and can only be extracted into their relevant profiles. So now we got our first relationship in a kind, because we have Joseph Langley in that thing.
You have the second person. Joseph Langley is not a target person, as you can see, because it does not. Target persons appear with a portrait. the other persons, related persons, appear smaller, and you can only investigate target persons for now, but related persons can become target persons if there is an indication that they're involved.
So, yeah, props, just a business call from one of the favorite clients. Actually, yes, this is exactly what's going to happen. Very serious business, Cassandra. I thought as much. Guess I better pick up shitloads of wine, and you'll have to get this client of yours pretty buzzed to handle all that business. One bottle should be fine. She's a lightweight. Oh, whatever. I guess I shouldn't pick up some of those party pills from Big Pharma, aka my parents then. Oh, come on. I was only teasing. Speaking of your parents, when are you going to tell them about us? Oh, yeah, maybe. Gotta go now. Text you later. XOXO. So, Big Pharma, aka my parents, sounds like the businessman forgotten daughter, and you said something about entrepreneurs, and it could be
maybe they're pharma entrepreneurs.
Maybe it could be like that. So we never played this game. It's just a blind playthrough. Keep in mind.
It's super surprising.
Watergate, pharma entrepreneurs. That does ring a bell. So Orwell just did what Orwell does, because Watergate and pharma, and now it connected that to Watergate Pharmaceuticals. So it found this website here.
Yeah.
So we got a lot of products here.
So this page is not directly connected to Cassandra, but it has to be connected in some way, because Orwell is always looking for connections to target persons, and what you found out. So yeah, exactly. It's gotta have to do something with her, but it's not super apparent because this is just this pharmaceutical page. But you'll find her, you may find a relation to her someplace on that page.
So
maybe.
We're gonna go on company first. The name Watergate has been inseparable. Yeah. Like I said, from progressing and improvement of pharmaceutical research for more than 80 years, Watergate Pharmaceuticals is one of the nation's leading companies in the area of medicine, and at the same time, it is the largest medication exporter to all areas of the world. That's nice. That's Bruno Watergate, the CEO. There's Dr. Alice Watergate. So these are her parents. Head of Research and Development, and there is Cassandra Watergate,
there
junior
she is.
COO. Looks quite different.
She looks a bit different, and it also says she's the junior COO, which is a bit weird because we know she's an artist.
We upload it because why not? Why not?
But Symes thinks the same way, basically. Thinks that's we'll see.
Parents? Question mark. So, being an artist and a junior COO seems quite odd. She also mentioned she had quit a dull job, didn't she? So, Alice and Bruno's daughter, Cassandra, so we could upload this because it would create new...
Yeah, what this will do is it will add her parents.
So we're gonna do that and see how the... Now I see, keeping it family affair. So...
Now we have 2 more persons, yeah.
So...
Also, you got a ticker message that the crime rate dropped.
Oh, yeah.
This will appear from time to time when things happen, and there are new articles in this newspaper, the National Beholder. Then you get a ticker message that there's something new happening,
like that, what we've got here.
Yeah, new headlines and stuff like that. Exactly that.
It continues to drop. So
this might be relevant, this may at times not be relevant, but you just have to decide for yourself. You can read that or not read that, and it's up to you.
While I read that, crime rate continues to drop. It's a revelation, and that reminds me of one video I've produced for that, because how did Orwell and Osmotic Studios formed, and what was the main idea behind this game? So enjoy this little video, and we will be back in a few moments. Since I wasn't in the team when Osmotic Studios first opened its gates, I asked Daniel to give me and you a small overview of the beginnings of the studio and the ideas behind the first game, Orwell Keeping an Eye on You. Everything happened exactly the way I will tell you, believe me. It is the year 2014, and the three graduated students, Melanie, Daniel and Micha, sit around and think about what they want to do now. Since it usually rains in Hamburg, outdoor activities are rather omitted. They keep pondering until they realize that they've all studied something connected to video games. So they decided they will develop video games from now on. There were two things missing: a game and, more importantly, a name for the studio. After careful consideration and discarding Popstar Games and Snowstorm Entertainment, it was finally found with Osmotic Studios. Now only a game was missing. It was already clear that it should be a thriller that would only take place on a desktop. There were some inspirations, but none of the titles told its story exclusively through websites, photos and documents. The setting of the thriller had not yet been found, but as luck would have it, some guy called Edward Snowden caused quite a stir at the time. Through his leaks, the extent of Mars civilians and systems like Prism became clear. Why shouldn't the game take place in such a Prism-like civilian system? Very good idea. At first, the game was not meant to represent a certain point of view, but simply to tell an exciting story in this civilian setting. But the more research was done, the more information was gained about the Snowden leaks, the clearer it became that they wanted to oppose the civilians by systems like Prism or similar, but of course not act completely one-sided. Instead, they wanted to raise the question of how much civilians is okay and helpful, and where to draw the line between private and public interest. The players should then form their own opinion. The player became part of the civilian state as an investigator with access to such a civilian system. One terrorist attack was committed and now it was about preventing others. The story focused on the conflict between activists and the state. One side stands for boundless freedom and the other side for complete civilians. This resulted in a kind of whodunit story in which the player is confronted with the question whether such a civilian system is useful or not. The answer is... well... you should play Orwell to find out. That should be enough to give you a basic overview of the idea behind the game. At the moment, Osmotic Studios are Daniel Marx, Game Director, Michael Kluge, Technical Director, and Vanessa Zeb, Art Director. Now back to Daniel and me. Now we are back. What a nice video. Wow. Yeah, so we've got here the crime rate continues to drop, and like we heard, it's like a bit with the Snowden leaks, something like this is here going on. Safety bill, it's about mass civilians and stuff like that.
Yeah.
What the government does here.
Exactly. What you can read here is that for some years there's this government which is just called the party.
Called the party in the nation.
Like I said, we're very good at naming stuff. They have passed the so-called safety bill, and it's a set of laws to allow greater surveillance, basically, and some other stuff you will get to know more in the game, what it really is about. But a lot of stuff that you learn about is happening because people oppose the safety bill. Like we've already seen that Cassandra went to this protest, which happened in protest of the safety bill. So it's a very controversial law that is sparking some problems in this nation and some riots.
Yeah, of course. Why not? Why not? So, yeah, we go to there. Oh, it informs me that you just encountered conflicted data chunks. Oh my goodness. Whenever the content of two data chunks are at odds with one another, those will be shown as conflicted. When you extract one of the data chunks containing conflict, the other will become invalid immediately. I'd highly recommend that you clarify the context of the conflict before you proceed, though this is your decision. Once the information has been passed, there is no way to reverse your choice. So we got this yellow bit, that's a conflict. We don't have the conflict here. There it is.
Yeah.
So
sometimes you'll find data chunks that are contradicting, 2 or more even, and whenever that happens, Orwell marks them yellow, and you will have to decide which one of those to upload, if any. You don't have to. Technically, you don't even have to upload any. Yeah, well, sometimes of course you have to, because you wouldn't progress otherwise. But sometimes you don't have to, and it's your choice. It's your choice as a player, as investigator, which one you believe is more correct. And in this case, they're both on the same page, but they will get harder to find later on.
Yeah, but that's just for starters. So.
Yeah.
The case that has been at the center of media attention for the last month has finally come to an end. Cassandra W. Was acquitted to alleged assault against a police officer before the trial took place, with the case being closed due to the lack of evidence yesterday. However, the case might be reopened should new evidence be discovered. So this is the first. It says with the case being closed due to lack of evidence. So the suspect's lawyer, Joseph Langley, pictured above, welcomed the outcome. At no point has ever been any valid evidence that my client was guilty. At no point at all. The Revere defense attorney commented during a post-trial press gathering. The defense successfully brought video evidence depicting the incident in question, which eventually turned the tide of the proceedings. So meanwhile, the relatives of the victim expressed their disappointment on hearing the results of the lawsuit. They openly voiced their concerns that the wealthy family of the accused might have influenced the outcome in her favor. The victim, a father of 2 young sons, was rushed into hospital after the incident in mid-July, where he still is in an induced coma, unresponsive to treatment. So we got this. The wealthy family of the accused might have influenced the outcome in her favor. So we got one and one, the other one. So we can choose.
You can, you now have to choose which one you want to upload.
So, because this is a blind playthrough,
and we absolutely have no idea what is happening. I have
completely no idea. I will talk you through what I'm thinking, because this is just a statement by the family of the victim, and they say
they're speculating.
It might have influenced the outcome in her favor, because nobody knows. Maybe it has, maybe it hasn't. So this one sounds more like a fact. So it's the information, the case is closed, and that's the more realistically, the more realistic fact that we've got here.
Yeah, I think it's pretty obvious in this case that that's what happened. It was closed because of the lack of evidence. We don't know whether the wealthy family did anything, but it's basically just speculation. Anyway, if you want to be the one to bring her family in trouble, potentially, or Cassandra in trouble, you could, of course, pick the one which is just speculation. Of course.
So I said this is the more right one, but this is we're gonna be with the victims. So we say, oh yeah, maybe the wealthy family of the accused might have influenced.
You really wanna get Cassandra in trouble, right?
yeah, because I'm biased right now because she has blue hair. No, I don't know. Oh no, this is a serve accusation. Since we already know who her parents are, we will immediately begin investigating these allegations. So that's like, we talk about, we gonna upload it, and he says we gonna look into it.
Yeah. So what happens now is, because you said this and you found out who her parents are, he's now investigating this further. if you had not uploaded who her parents are earlier,
this
would not happen at this point.
So
there you see how your
all
stuff is
affects
affecting the story. Yeah.
Good. So good.
Of course, you could now go back if you didn't do it earlier and upload.
And upload
her parents.
her parents. Yeah.
If you want.
But I can't go back and say, oh wait, no, Symes, that's not right.
You can talk to Symes. It's a bit tricky.
Yeah,
you can just upload.
I can't
stuff.
say, Symes, please come back. I want to say something. I did not meant to do that like that.
No, you gotta make up your mind before you upload stuff.
Okay.
And you can't always 100% know what Symes will do based on that.
So now we had a little break, and now I don't know what we are going to do. So I click on that here and see, new objective, find info on the previous job Cassandra mentioned. She quit. Yeah. And here,
the objectives.
14 degrees Celsius. Today is a bright, cold day. Some clouds will show up in the early afternoon, only to give way again to a clear sky at sundown.
Yeah, of course you can read stuff on the weather if you want to.
And the price of freedom is eternal vigilance.
Oh, there's so much wisdom in the quotes. You have to read the quotes.
Quote of the day. So we've got 5 days, so it should be 5 quotes of the day.
That's right.
Nice. Good mathematics. So we need to find out what she does right now. So she said, now we found that she's a junior COO and that she's an artist. So we're not on this page. Jobs.
But, something's still not quite right, because Symes doesn't believe she is a junior COO and an artist, and she also said she quit her job. So something might have happened, and we might find out more here.
So if you need a job, just write to this email address, and maybe you are invited to a job interview. So Chief Operating Officer, COO. Oh, that's a job they offer. So we are urgently looking.
Job.
You had one job. We are urgently looking for a Chief Operating Officer to replace the retired, formerly appointed predecessor. So that's of course.
Yeah. So it's basically her job, and her job is now
gone.
Vacant.
Now vacant. Or maybe I was wrong and nothing stays in the family. Ouch. So this is probably what she meant about quitting her job. Good.
Yeah. So we know something happened in the family or between her and her parents, because she quit her job, and she also mentioned, if you recall from her artist page, she mentioned that she feels like the victim of traditionalism and stuff like that. So she's not very...
In pink.
Yeah.
So currently I'm thinking that Miss Watergate underwent quite a radical change. Don't you agree? Yeah, we do. We do agree. We do agree.
Obviously.
Symes, we do agree. Let's find out what happened in between these two lives of her. What may have caused this radical shift? Yeah. Interesting. Oh, timelines. Let's watch that.
Yeah. Timelines is basically the Facebook of this world. You can read all this stuff here.
Nice.
If you want to. There's a lot of stuff that happened in her life, basically, and she commented or wrote about. You don't, as always, you don't have to read anything. You can if you want to. You can just skip also for the important bits.
But you feel like you like more in the world of this game when you read everything. So
yeah, probably.
So interests: art, music, activism. So that's her birthday. I guess that's maybe interesting.
Might be helpful, but maybe not.
Interests, activism is of course a bit
maybe that's interesting.
Yeah, that's kind of the thing. Maybe it's interesting, maybe not.
And that's exactly the point. You don't know. Maybe it will become interesting at some point.
Yeah. So,
Yeah, she's writing a lot of stuff, and I don't think we can read all of that.
Fuck all of you government lackeys.
She's quite
Opposes the
unhinged.
government vehemently. Yeah, come on.
Yeah, you can upload that and say basically.
Well, Miss Watergate, we aren't too fond of you either. Yeah.
Yeah. You just made her an opponent of the government in Simon's eyes. So that's one of the things you really got to think about. Do you want to upload that? And you just painted her as being more anti-government.
Yeah. But she clearly writes that in caps, so it must be.
It must be the truth.
It must be true. You clearly know that. So here's a conflict. Mary, just shut your freaking mouth, okay? A broken friendship with Mary.
Yeah, Orwell interprets that as a
conflict. Here is my Mary, the best friend of all times.
Yeah. To make a decision on that, we probably would have to read more. But we can also think: is it that important?
Yeah.
Whether she's her best friend or not? Maybe it's not important at this point.
That's right. And maybe I just hint a bit. Just I just point with it.
Yeah. So yeah, there are a lot of dates, of course, in the game, and especially on timelines and yeah.
So that's sometimes very important to read. When does someone just posted that, and is it
which
before
is
or
recent,
after the other conflict? Yeah. So Cassandra is in a relationship with Joseph Langley.
Oh, that's interesting. Because we know for a fact that this is her lawyer, right?
With her lawyer?
Obviously, we do know that because Symes knows it.
And we are Symes. So
no, we're not Symes.
Okay. Maybe. So it's Daniel who's writing all the comments right now. So Cassandra shall be known to the world as Cassathis.
Yeah, they had a little bit of dialogue going on there about
an alias name. You know, people on the web, so many names, so many identities.
Yeah. So if you read, feel free to read it.
It's always good to record every alias. Then we can match data chunks to target persons whenever they are using them.
This discussion is she changed her hair color, as we've seen. Before she was blonde before.
That concert was amazing.
So amazing.
That I just had to give my hair a little makeover. So without further ado, how do you like it? Looks like here.
So now you know when she changed her hair color. Maybe that's
July 6th.
So maybe that's important. But we don't know. Maybe that's just your hair color. But there are also people talking about.
Mary wrote, "OMG, what happened to your beautiful hair? Why didn't you ask me before going to a stylist? We could have gone together." Jake wrote, "Ooh, Cassie going punk. Did mommy and daddy agree with that?" And Juliet Carrington, "Looks nice. That's a whole new you. You also needed a new name then. What about Cassathis?" Oh yeah, I've just uploaded that.
So
that's clever, me likey. So henceforth, Cassandra shall be known as the word as Cassathis. And Harrison O'Donnell, "That's the spirit, kiddo. Now I'd like you to invite you to our little activist group. If you want to join us, it would be nice to have you with us for the protest on the Freedom Plaza on Friday." Protest Freedom Plaza, activist group.
Do you recall actually where she was arrested?
Let's upload that. An activist group. Is there anything more specific? And now it's a listener. Joseph Langley writes again. So I connect this with a question we've got. Why is there no call or chat skipping feature? It makes achievement hunting and new playthroughs very tedious.
Yeah, some people have asked for a chat skipping feature.
I will open that now.
One reason is because we have some dialogues in there where you have to react to stuff that's happening live, and we didn't want to give away which ones. So they would have to be unskippable, basically. because you have to react to stuff that's happening, and we didn't want to spoil which ones are like important and which ones are not by being able to skip them and not. And so we never got around making this feature. I see why it's tedious if you're really achievement hunting. If you're playing this for the first time, you will probably read anything anyway. If you're replaying the game, yeah, it might get a bit tedious. We're still thinking whether to add this maybe later on. It should not be so much of a problem. We just have to think about how do we not give away which dialogues are important for first-time players. If you're replaying this, you know anyway. But those dialogues which are really important that you react in real time to them and do something, they you shouldn't be able to skip them at least if you're a first-time player. But you shouldn't skip them if you're playing this a second time around.
So you said you can play it a second time. What does this mean? This is that because you have different outcomes in the end.
That's right.
Oh,
yeah!
What a surprise!
As you saw earlier, if you choose to upload different stuff, different outcomes will happen in the game, throughout the game. So yeah, there are different endings and there are different outcomes throughout. That person might get arrested or not get arrested, or might even die. Stuff like that is happening based on what you upload. So yeah, you can replay that.
Yeah, and how this looks behind the scenes, we will see now when we have a closer look at Artisy. Ever wondered what the story structure of Orwell looks like, and how an episode looks like from the developer's point of view? Well, would you kindly stay a while and listen then? For Orwell, we've been using a game design tool called Artisy Draft. First, it's important to note Artisy Draft has many features, of which we are only using a few. It also allows a lot of customization, so we're using it a bit differently than other devs might do. The core of Artisy Draft is a flow graph. If you don't know what that is, imagine it as a series of causes and effects where one event leads to one or several others. For the first episode of Orwell, it looks like this. This is the flow of the entire episode, from start on the left to finish. Each of the colored nodes along the way represents some kind of event in the game, and you can clearly see how a series of events leads to another. The color of a node marks the type of the event that is happening. For example, a yellow node marks a new website that's been unlocked for the player, for example, a reader document. Early on in the game you get Cassandra's police file, as you see here. Now all of those edges that run out from the node lead to other news that are all being triggered once the player has gotten the new document. The orange nodes show data chunks that become unlocked, in this case after the player has received the new website, Cassandra's name and Cassandra's mugshot, so her portrait. Unlocked means that the player can now discover them in the game and they'll appear once they show up on screen. Another thing that we can do in Artisy is that we can dive into every node, because a node is a flow in itself. For example, in the Cassandra name data chunk we can find all the updates for that person's profile that are contained within that data chunk. As we can see here, this only contains a name for Cassandra. Each node also has properties that contain more data on what this node actually is. In this case it's the actual data that the update contains, the name and the character this update is for. If I wanted to, I could now give her a different name or change the category of the update, but let's not do that now. Let's get back up. Also happening after the police file becomes unlocked is this teal color node, which is a condition we call document viewed. What this does is it waits for the player to open a specific document, then it becomes completed, triggering whatever comes next, in this case a delay and after that a commentary. Now, as with everything else, we can also dive into this commentary. Here we find the text that Symes is saying in the game. I think you get the basic idea how the flows work. There are of course many more types of nodes, like new objectives, other tools that become unlocked, conditions that ask for specific data chunks that have been uploaded, or something else the player has done. But let me show you one more thing in Artisy, because we are also storing all of our document texts in there. What we can do is we can jump right into this unlocked document node and have a look at its properties. Here we see the document that is being unlocked, Cassandra's police file. With a double click we go directly to the document. This is the text directly as it appears in the game, only without any layout elements or images. If you take a close look at the text, you may notice there are tags like this. These mark the data chunks that can be found in the text, so the bits of highlighted text. This tag is similar to this, only that it denotes there's an image here that can also be used as a data chunk. This works the same for any text in the game. Mails, files. From Artisy we export the information directly into our engine Unity, so what we design in here can be used directly in the game, which is quite handy. Okay, finishing up this little insight, let me tease you episode 2, the developer way. So, this is it. Quite a bit bigger, right? Okay folks, that's it for now. Back to Daniel and, well, me. So now we are back again after this little overview of Artisy. And while that happened, the chat is over. So we did not watch into that, but they are just talking about stuff about the Freedom Plaza bombing, and Cassandra said, oh, I have to catch the bus every day from there, so I will upload that because maybe that's interesting. Meaning a presence there before the bombing could be coincident after all, but we know Symes does not believe in coincidence. I reserve my thoughts until you find more evidence. Here,
it's kind of the running gag of the game that he doesn't believe in coincidence, and he will repeat this several times.
I was so happy when Goldfelds accepted me into thought. I desperately wanted to go to prove my worth to the cause.
Yeah, she has got, as we saw earlier on timelines, she's been invited to an activist group, and now we know this activist group is called Thought.
An activist group called Thought. Interesting. Maybe this is what influenced her. And who is Goldfelds? We should find something that shows her current attitude to see if we're following the right person. So, okay. Here's some stuff about buying some Chateau Margaux. Kachin.
Yeah, she's buying wine, and they're gonna have dinner together, or they're making plans to have dinner, basically, and
now it comes, Joseph has some appointment.
He has an appointment, like he always have, and Cassandra is not happy.
Like you see, she's writing with caps. Always, every fucking where.
Yeah, as we know, writing in caps is the truth.
It's the truth. Believe me. Appointment here, appointment there, appointment every fucking where. So have you taken your Metharin? Metharin.
Oh, she's in some kind of medication.
Yes, damn it!
Yes, damn it!
Have you taken your... I will upload that. This could be interesting for the case. What's this Metharin? Can you look it up for me? Please? Yeah.
So basically now he wants you to Google.
Yeah, but we can't Google, so we just need to look at this.
Will we find such info?
Because we saw the products could be here, and it is here. Antidepressant. Depressant. 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 She might be emotionally unstable if she relied on this medication. It's pretty interesting. Looking at what we've extracted so far, we're dealing with a potentially dangerous personality. Because she's writing in caps. I will indicate that to law enforcement. So what was here? The thought.
Warning. Person is writing in caps.
Stay away from her.
Yeah.
If liberty means anything at all, it means the right to tell people what they do not want to hear. George Orwell. Okay.
So yeah. Basically, you now found this Thought blog, which seems to be associated with this activist group.
Yeah.
Because they are called Thought also.
Yeah. It feels like that. And
it has 9 entries.
9 entries, but he is Archer. So we're gonna... Oh, it's forbidden. Error 403. This article is private. Due to the private settings on this blog. Yeah, come on, I just need to. Oh, geez. It's not archived. So, The Thought. Freedom is Unfree, published in September.
Yeah.
So it was about July when she changed her color.
So
her hair
that's
color.
afterwards,
She did that
right?
here. Where was it? Yeah, July.
Yeah.
So it was after that, before that, and this was after that. So okay.
So she wrote an article about surveillance, and yeah, you don't have to read all of that, but
No,
she's opposed especially to the surveillance on Freedom Plaza, where the protest was held also, and yeah,
And she was.
that might be interesting because of the bombing.
You probably all know me as either that blue-haired punk bitch or stupid cunt.
Are we allowed to say that on stream? Okay, it's in the game. We
It's
have
in
to
the
read
game. I just read out what's standing here. So maybe we bleep that out. So it's that blue-haired punk beep, a stupid beep, and
Yeah.
anti-governmental terrorist. So
Fair warning, there's some swearing in the game.
may-
May never have guessed.
we read that because we wanted a peaceful protest. We have always been against violence, and I saw on her timeline there's a new post from now, just today. Ha! Finally, someone who had the grit and explosives to show how futile civilians is.
So I don't know if you noticed, but she posted this just now.
Yeah, just
It's today,
it's today,
and
It's
it wasn't
just
there
now.
before. So
Yeah, right,
sometimes
right.
things
Stuff
can happen
stuff
live
happens while
while you're doing stuff. People can still write and post stuff or talk to other people.
Yeah. So now it's the question which one we would upload.
Yeah, so yeah, in September when she wrote this, in September last year,
Yeah.
she was opposed to violence. At least she says so.
Yeah.
And now she says, yeah, great, that somebody has done something, and
like this terrorist attack, yeah. So I would say
the question is, which is her real, so to speak, attitude?
Yeah, it's a good question.
Is this the more relevant one because it's from today?
It's from today, and
more recent?
she just writes it to her to all of the friends of that, and this is just like the activist group. Maybe
she's lying in there.
maybe she's lying.
Maybe
in here
she's
because,
just saying, yeah, we're so opposed to violence,
Yeah,
but in
yeah,
fact
right.
she is
because all of them know how she means that, because all of the activists in that thought group know exactly. No, we're not against against violence. That's tricky. That's very tricky.
Yeah, the tricky thing here is, of course, you
can be biased in a
you
way,
can
yeah.
be biased. She can be. You don't know for sure. There's not like this is her definitive. This is the definitive right answer.
Yeah,
you cannot know.
She wrote both, so
It's
I
a
guess
matter of
I'm
what
gonna-
you believe
I'm
is
gonna
right.
go with this.
Yeah.
So I suspected as much, since we're looking at the right person.
Yeah.
Okay. All right.
If you've taken the other answer, he might have believed they're looking at the wrong person, because if she's really opposed to violence,
Against violence.
then that might not.
Why
her
should
doing.
we
Yeah.
focus on that? All right. What we found so far is all good and interesting, but I think we should be searching for something a little more concrete. We have to dig deeper. Oh, and it's a new.
We have to go deeper.
Agreed. Juliet Carrington.
Oh, this is a new
And
person,
Cassie.
right?
Yeah. Hi, Jules. Cassie, I just wanted to know.
But we've seen her before.
Yeah,
we know her name because we've seen her before. She's already in our relationship.
Yeah, because she said
Yeah.
Pasathis.
Yeah, right. She was the person who said, who suggested the name.
Yeah. And now, guess we're gonna get some nice conversation here between them. I just had to let Steam off Steam, you know. They're
Yeah.
talking about the
They're
post
talking
we've
about the
just
post.
uploaded. But I'm just gonna get what I did.
What did she do?
We will never know. Oh my goodness. Fuck, kook. Cassie, you heard that officer to save me. So it was about this this protest and this incident there. Cassie, you heard that officer to save me and you succeeded. You mustn't forget about that. That was so brave. How can it not have been my fault? Juliet, I smashed the freaking skull of a father of 2 children because I lost it. So that's again a conflict here.
Yeah, they're both claiming something. So Juliet, as her friend, probably is saying, "Yeah, we were together. The police officer seems to have attacked me, and yeah, you just defended me." And Cassandra says, "Yeah, it's all my fault, and I really did that thing that could not be proven earlier that she was accused of, but yeah, we know it was halted because of the lack of evidence." So the question is now, do we now follow Juliet, who says this happened in defense, or do we just follow Cassandra? It just said this is all my fault, and which omits the fact that she did this in defense.
That's a good question. Maybe both
Yeah, you can't pick both.
things are true. It's again tricky.
It's again a matter of what you believe is more.
So come on, we're just biased and we upload that she smashed the freaking.
You really
skull.
want to arrest her, right?
Yeah, that's right. That's right. But now we've chose this path, and now we're going to go it further and further. What she openly admitted to such a violent act. This is perfect. We can arrest her and open the investigation again.
Sam is pretty happy.
Very good work. The intervention team is already on its way. We need to wait for confirmation.
So yeah.
Next up, Wonderland, right?
Yeah, her address is Wonderland, still in there.
Yeah, you get it.
Of course, he's sending.
Just kidding. Next time, be careful with providing the wrong data.
Yeah. So. Yeah, basically he knows that the address is wrong, but if you provide a wrong address, they might add up at the wrong address if they are making an arrest. So, yeah.
In Miss Watergate's case, it was not a problem to get her address with the help of local police due to your former record, yeah. That was what you've...
So, yeah.
So
they're now arresting her because of what you've given away.
Oh, yeah. Juliet Carrington writes again.
And they're talking again, yeah.
I thought about what you said. Maybe you're right. Maybe not. I should take the post down. It'd be better, believe me. Wait a second, somebody is at the door.
Something is happening.
Maybe someone is at the door. Who could that be?
Knock, knock.
Who's there? Intervention team is called. Bam! Okay, by the way, how's your boyfriend? You're still together? You haven't been talking about him all that much lately. Well, not as much as before.
So we did not know who her boyfriend was. We would know now that she has one.
Yeah.
But it's grayed out because we already know.
We already know that, yeah, because on the page. So she just...
She isn't returning.
There, Cassie, what's going on? I inquire if all went well with arresting Miss Watergate. You did a good job. In any case, although we have no proofs she's involved in the bombing, we might be able to question her. And with that admission of guilt, she will probably serve some time. Okay, I just received confirmation that she's now in custody. Very good work indeed. I'm curious about this thought group, though, whether they... Oh god.
Something is happening.
2 dead after second explosion. Oh, no. Take a look at the news. Okay, I will take a look.
Something important is happening at the news. Yeah. And there's been a second explosion.
2 dead after second explosion. That's horrible.
You know what that means, right?
It can't be Cassandra Watergate.
Right, because
she
was at home and then got arrested.
And in custody, yeah. This complicates matters massively. So much for a simple test case. I need to speak to my superiors, see how we are to proceed. given these extenuating
Yeah.
You see, we are Germans, so these circumstances.
We can write this stuff, but not read it.
You did good job. You did good today. You can log off, get from rest, blah 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 blah. Yeah, of course. So we just read that half an hour ago, an explosion occurred at the campus of Bonn University. According to the latest reports, at least 2 people were killed and further 3 injured severely. The area was evacuated immediately, according to yet unconfirmed statements. The city administration office of Bonn received an anonymous letter just minutes prior to the detonation, which again contained the first 3 stanzas of the German folk song Die Gedanken sind frei, the thoughts are free, exactly like the letter received before the assault on the Freedom Plaza yesterday. We will inform you about any developments on this event as soon as further details are available.
Yeah.
So
we have
second
explosion, and yeah, we've solved basically nothing. We got Cassandra Watergate arrested.
That's nice.
Which is good,
but we did not get the
perpetrator
of
the bombings. But we know there's this activist group she's involved with, and she's arrested. So that might help us later that she got arrested, because she can get questioned now.
Yeah.
So this is the end of the first chapter now, of the first episode, which is also completely playable in the demo.
Like
you can download via Steam.
Yeah. So if you just want to have other outcomes here, you can play it right now and just maybe not be biased like we were, and maybe be a little bit kinder to Cassandra.
Yeah. And read everything for yourself, of course, which we skipped a lot
like
of it.
Movie shooting completed.
The important bits, yeah.
So this was Orwell keeping an eye on you. We will now log off here and go into Orwell Ignorance is Strength, the 2nd season of the Orwell game series.
Yeah.
Just hold the line and we'll be back soon. But first, be there as a photo of me is transformed by Vanessa into a triangled image like you would find it in the game. This is how all pictures were created for Orwell.
As you can see, the meme lord is born. Well, but now back to Daniel and me.
Okay, welcome everybody. We are now here in the main menu of Orwell. Ignorance is strength. I'm still Alex, and
I'm still Daniel.
Still joined by Daniel, yes. And we're here in Ignorance is strength. That's the second season of the Orwell game saga. And we're gonna play a bit of the first day, not the whole first day, because we don't want to spoil everything of that. And just play a bit and give you a little insight of this game. And yeah, we're gonna create a new profile like we did in Keeping an Eye on You. And this time I will choose which it's hard. Got this beard man here. So now it's
beard guy.
So let's be a guy. Next step. So email address, we got this. Oh yeah, here you're one of 54,800.
Yeah, that's a real number, by the way. We have a counter and how many profiles have been created on Steam.
Oh yeah, nice. Next step. Please agree. Yeah, we've got this. Just read that. Yeah, go ahead.
So that's basically the same thing as in the first game, but now in Ignorance of Strength you get to play an agent that is more in a special program of Orwell, a special unit, and what you can do is you can refer to your original profile from the first game, and it will import some of your decisions, because the second game, the second season, is playing at the same time as the first one. So if you made some decisions in the first game, they will carry over to the second, and some major decisions will carry over and influence your story.
Oh yeah, so we can be paired with our little Daniel from the first first game.
The other bearded guy.
the old guy. So we're gonna hit next step. Aptitude test. In order to qualify for special duty within Orwell, taking the aptitude test is mandatory. So it's just a little test. I will rush through that without getting too much into it. Which of the following statements are true to your attitude? So we need to upload something here, drag and drop at least one of the highlighted statements. So I want to be a pioneer in the most advanced security program. I want to make the nation a safer place. I like spying on people. Yeah, that's right. I want to protect people from harm, and I'm in for the money. So if we are not paired with an investigator, this has some impact on the decisions.
This has also some impact on the how the
it's just
decisions are playing out.
Simulates which decisions you made in the first game if you would have played the first game.
Yeah, but it will also influence how you'll get another advisor this time around, Ampleford, and she will make she will consider you a bit differently based on the answers you take here, basically.
So we upload everybody.
Everybody is suspicious.
They are all suspicious. So next step. Which of the following statements do you consider to be true, if any? An unjust law can and should be violated. There is no such thing as a justified lie. There are two sides of every story. To every story, a government should safeguard the citizens by any means necessary. Absolute truth exists. I don't feel like anybody. Given the choice, would you prefer to have your medical record or your dating profile investigated? Daniel, what would you choose?
Yeah, I take my medical record.
Medical record, okay. Good. Why? Next step. So, which information from your medical profile would you give to an investigator willingly? Size and weight, current fitness parameters, active prescriptions, past medical conditions and history, pictures and information from a full body scan.
Obviously everything.
Everything?
Yeah, everything. I mean, we want to qualify here, right?
Okay.
So we're the super transparent person.
So we upload everything here.
We're the super obedient person. Like, we give away anything, we would do anything for the government, of course.
Yeah, but then we should have chose a government should safeguard its citizens.
Yeah, maybe we should have, but yeah, it's too late now.
Next step. Task: confronted with the situation below, which action would you take? Your best friend boasts about having been accepted into Orwell since you are working for Orwell yourself. You know that talking about your job is punishable by imprisonment. Without saying anything to my friend, I inform the national authorities at the next possibility. I warn my friend I am working for Orwell too, and that I will have to inform the authorities if this continues. I feign ignorance, but hint my friend that talking about such a delicate job might not be advisable. I do nothing about it. Nice information about this. We needed to give all data chunks a ID in Artisy, and I had the task to do that for the aptitude test. And yeah, of course, without saying anything to my friend, I informed the national authorities at the next possibility. It's called dick move. So a little bit behind the scenes information for that, because it's kind of dick move to just don't tell your friend that you should not do that. So, but I say that's the most likely thing to be qualified here.
Yeah, probably.
The dick move. So next step. The office doesn't like to be lied. Oh, lies detected. You have been lying. You will be disqualified permanently.
Why have we been lying?
I admit having picked the most favorable answers. Your claim is wrong. I answered truthfully during the test.
So basically they're accusing us now because we picked so favorable answers, right? Because we said, yeah, we would give away anything and just do it. And yeah, they're now accusing us of liars. Should we say...
Their claim is wrong here.
Their claim is wrong?
We are truthfully answering everything here.
Hello, O'Brien. Is that you?
I have to disappoint you.
What? Raban, what? How? After all this time? I didn't think you'd...
Remember what you did? Again, I must disappoint you. I've not been blessed with a short memory.
What? Raban, listen. It wasn't me. I don't know anything about what happened there. That's the truth.
Truth. See, I never had much regard for the Bible, but there's one remarkable, groundbreaking moment. Before being sentenced to death, Jesus goes on and on about being a witness for the truth, but Pilate defies him with the simplest of all questions. What is truth? It is this particular question I've been pondering over for a very long time now. How much of the information ending up on our screens every single day has passed through so many other minds before, each one with their own bias and agenda. It is all cut down to size, proportioned, ready to be consumed. And yet we greedily swallow it all in blissful ignorance, because our hunger is unending.
Stop the nonsense and get to the point. What do you want?
To ask you a question. What is truth?
I don't understand.
Now you're the disappointing one. You of all people should, Oleg Bakay. There is only one thing about truth that is certain. Truth is dead. As you soon will be.
What? Why? You? How did you manage? How? Vart! Vart!
So now we are in the game, and there is ample for you answered truthfully in the aptitude test. You are either as blatant as naive liar, or you're willing to shift the truth to your liking. You might be exactly whom I need. So we are not out of the competition here. So we are in Orwell right now. My name is Amberford. I'm a part of a special division within the government, the office. We get called in for the delicate matters. A man called Oleg Bakay disappeared a couple of days ago. The last we heard of him was the call just played to you. So yeah, we've got voice actors right now. So you heard them.
That was
in the intro.
The big
Yes.
introduction with Ignorance was real voice acting, which we don't have in the first game.
That's right. I will tell you something a bit later about it.
It was a bit painful.
It wasn't that nice for us, but for me exactly. So I have added a transcript of the dialogue to your reader tool. You can read it again or listen to the recording when you're done. Open the unknown person profile on the left. So we are in the game and it looks pretty much the same. It's a bit darker in the background.
Yeah, it's the one thing that has changed, obviously.
It's the only thing. It's just basically
it's a dark skin. Let's be honest, it's just a dark skin. Now we have some new features. We will find that later. You can see one of them already now. There's a clock in the upper left corner.
Here.
And yeah, time will always advance when you do something, and yeah, you gotta take care of the clock while you're working.
Hello.
And
O'Brien.
we can click
Is
here
that
and
you?
I have to disappoint
listen
you.
to this call again. We can also stop that right now.
Yeah.
And click on the unknown person profile.
So it starts like the first game a bit. Yeah, get a little bit of intro. And
Since you're paired with an investigator, I assume you're familiar with the procedure and spare your most technicalities. Yeah, that's
because we imported a save game, she just assumes we know about the game, and she won't be telling us that much.
all that stuff. Yeah. For starters, upload Oleg Bakay's name from the transcript in the file by dragging it into the profile to the left. Yeah. Okay. What's the name? Oleg Bakay. Now look at this. The clock. We upload this, and then. Oh yeah, and then Amperfor talks. To us. Good, the profile is now primed on Oleg. Now other data chunks related to this person might appear. Check the transcript for newly found data chunks, and now watch at the clock.
Watch the clock advance.
Whee!
Yeah.
10 minutes.
Yeah.
It
So,
was
yeah.
a bit of a trial and error to find out how many minutes
It should advance. Yeah.
it should advance.
Yeah, totally.
I remember a day when we moved to completely the second day.
It was totally a balancing thing. Like in the beginning, we had I don't know,
Half an hour.
half an hour or
Half an
something,
hour,
and it was completely nuts. You could go to the next day.
Yeah, it was possible. I checked that. And you see, it's April 13. It's the same.
It's the same day
it's the
as
same
we
day
say
as-
as we played before in the first
Yeah.
game. Just with some
Just-
different person working on different case now, but the same things are happening
In a darker background.
in a darker background. Yeah,
Truth is that, as you soon will be, is a good. It's a good
that's a good statement.
statement. I like that. That's an odd thing to say. No, it's just right. We're taking this as a death threat, as the National Beholder. Time proceeds, and we are now here at the National Beholder we are used to. The National Beholder is the most respectable news site in the nation. You may browse their headlines freely to get informed. The recording of the call you heard ended up in their newsroom. Why? That's a piece of the puzzle we are missing right now. However, this article is a good starting point for our investigation on Oleg Bakay. To proceed, please adapt his picture and profession.
Yeah, you see,
It's
it's
like
really,
the-
really like the first game.
It's like
right now.
like the police report.
Yeah.
So now we got here the National Beholder and all the news.
It's absolutely the same day with the same news.
Well, now we can't upload here everything because
This is not your case now.
It's not related to the case here.
Yeah. So the idea behind Ignorance Strength was a bit to have to give a bit of background on the things that are hinted at in the first game. There's this neighboring country that's mentioned all the time. It's called Pargus, and there's stuff going on in the first game there. And yeah, we did want to share a bit of insight on what's going on there with the protests and riots in the neighbor country.
Yeah. So now we've got the file of Oleg Bakay. So he is in the Pargesian army. He was in the Pargesian army. It's stated there. Worked with 1st Law Enforcement Battalion of the Army of the Nation, which was the 1st Infantry Division, Prava.
Yeah. So what happened here is this Pargesian soldier disappeared, and we're looking into this after he got threatened.
And someone said,
You're
"Truth
gonna be
is
dead.
dead,
You're gonna
as
be
you
dead."
will soon be."
Yeah.
Agent, you may have noticed by now that for every data tank you upload 10 minutes. Yeah, we've got that. We are more intelligent than you, Amplify. We just know that we are the devs. So keep this in mind. Yeah, it's all good. Captain.
Yeah, the captain is called Janus.
Janus, like the ancient. I don't know. Was it a Greek?
Two-faced
Was it
Greek
a Greek
god? Yes.
Greek god, two-faced one.
He's the two-faced god. I mean, this already hints at something. Maybe.
Maybe. Yeah. I'm granting you access to our database. So I wanted to. And now we're gonna see a completely new feature. another new feature we've got here.
Yeah.
It's the search option. So yeah, she tells us blah.
She tells us about it.
But we want to tell you about it because now we have the opportunity to.
You can insert stuff for the first time. You can take pieces of information back into fields
like that. So
and search
for the call sign, and then boops, there it is.
Yeah, we just found out that he is also a national agent, which is why the office is interested in him in the first place. He's a double agent.
Because why should they care for a Pargesian
soldier? Otherwise,
soldier.
Yeah.
It's not the nation. You did well done. Yeah, nice. There he is without a beard. But we will not upload that. That's not important for us. Date of birth is maybe important.
You might notice a pattern there. People are always changing their hair when they change personality. Like Cassandra.
Looks like his face is just upside down. It's his hair there. He hasn't a beard. Now he's bald hair there. So confidential informant as officer of the Pargesian army. Okay, that's interesting.
So they got an agent in the Pargesian army.
Yes, Bakay is our informant. Placed inside the Pargesian army for years, now vanished into thin air. Yeah, that's why they're interested. To get to the bottom, we will have to investigate the person who called him last. Raban Vart. Raban Vart. The beholder mentioned this thread to Oleg Bakay. Remember, time to pick the trace up from there. So we got a phone ID. So that's something we gonna have a nice view as something we did not saw in the first season.
Yeah.
The Insider tool.
Yeah, we're getting the Insider tool first now after the reader.
Yeah.
And we can, with the Insider tool, we have insight into a remote device, like a phone in this case.
In this case, it's
this
just
is
locked with a
this is protected
with a password. So we could do that. Oh, is he stupid enough to do
to use his name?
His name to that? Nope.
No.
Is it his birthday maybe?
Yeah, we got to think a bit harder about that.
So maybe it's not good. Tends to use names of people close to him as passwords.
So
this has been strongly discouraged. This has been strongly discouraged, but so far ignored by his suspect. So that's an information we could upload.
We know he's probably using an important person name.
So
as
not
password.
his own name, but maybe some other person's name. So we should
not that clever for an agent, to be honest. But,
even if you're told that. So no, don't use names of your relatives or something, or close friends or something. Yeah, well, okay, I will not stop that. I will find the key to Oleg Bakay's phone and unlock it. That's our main task. But she said something about Raban Vart, and I did not upload this one. A phone conversation between Pargesian army and Raban Vart.
Yeah.
Raban Vart, the name that Oleg Bakay mentioned during the call. Here's a Rabban Vard is known as the editor-in-chief and founder of the highly controversial blog The People's Voice.
Yeah.
We will upload that, and you tell me what's the matter. The People's Voice.
Yeah, Rabban Vard is kind of the it's the main antagonist of this game. In contrast to the first game, where you have to find out who the perpetrator is of these bombings, we have a clear antagonist here. We have like this, he's our opponent and he's spreading misinformation, and he's something to do with the disappearance of Oleg Bakay, but we don't know what it is exactly.
Yeah, so Amperford told us that it's very, very important that we just keep in mind that it's not everything a real fact here on this website. So that's the main theme of this game.
Yeah, exactly. Like misinformation,
fake news.
Fake news is as the title already says it, is the theme here.
Believe me.
There are a lot of contrary information to be found in this game, and you often have to decide which ones you believe or don't believe.
And you, of course, you can see here again, it has to be the truth because it's in caps.
Yeah.
President Puppet stops re-election plans. Hold Kassad accountable for breaking his word. You can clearly see they are very angry in the nation and in Pargis and in this area of the world.
Yeah, they're also very truthful.
So, Rabban Vard. Email address, it's important here. Very good. This will allow you to observe his work. Yeah, it's the listener now, but nobody writes an email to Rabban.
Not yet, at least. Maybe later.
Maybe later. We did not. We don't know. We don't know because it's also a blind place.
As blind as a deaf can be.
Yeah. The nation is corrupt leadership. Sorry for that. Leadership and all of their little flock who elected them carry the weight of the Freedom Plaza bombing victims upon their shoulders. It's a bit weird when you hear the voices and you just try to do them. Again, thanks to the people's voice and our efforts to get the fact out to the people, the situation in the nation has recently been rather calm. So what should we do now? Determine the connection between Rabban Vard and Oleg Bakay.
Yeah, we gotta find out how they are connected in the first place.
Yeah.
And if he has something to do
blames
with his disappearance.
On the Freedom Plaza. Oh yeah, this you see Nation Burns again. It's again about this terrorist attack on
he takes this terrorist attacks and makes it into a big the nation has failed kind of article.
And maybe he was around and took a picture of this while it was burning, or he's a very good Photoshop artist.
Yeah.
Look at this amazing flames here. So, but do we need to upload this? Blames assault on the Freedom Plaza on the government? Nope. Has actively calmed the situation in the nation recently.
Did you believe he calmed the situation with that?
With this picture, of course.
He's so helpful.
President Puppet. We are now biased against him. Very, very, very biased.
Yeah. We're already
not believing him. Yeah. But look at this website. Look at that. It just screams at me all the time. I don't want to listen to that.
Yeah.
So look at that here. Rejoice, re-election at last, and then it's okay. Torment, no. Promised, even new case of dementia. For all we know, Kassad is being controlled by the nation's shady administration. It's also blah blah blah.
Yeah, it's like when we made up the People's Voice site. It's like it's the exact. It's the exact contrast to the National Beholder.
Yeah.
Because the National Beholder usually just it's like a normal news website,
News
and
outlet,
it's
yeah.
just really focusing on the facts, and he's super
He's
biased,
very
emotional.
biased, and very
yeah,
emotional. Yeah,
it's the exact contrast.
just says what he thinks, even if this is not that much of a truth. So we got a blabber account here, a good old blabber account, and he said, "Let there be riots," and there were riots, and God saw. It was good. How did this man gain such an immense influence over his followers? He looks a kind of Jesus. A bit like Jesus.
He looks a bit like a prophet figure, yeah.
Yes.
Which is intentional. Not necessarily Jesus, but like he's a prophet, like some kind of religious leader.
I thought about it. He said there will be riots, and there were riots.
Yeah, you have
Sadly.
this religious undertone to him.
Sadly. Oh yeah. Oh my goodness. The lone truthless survivor.
Yeah, he writes a bit. This is a new page. This is
A true survivor.
this is
Sorry, fine.
this is Blabber,
It's a bit
which
like
is like Twitter,
yeah,
and he uses this instead of timelines.
with at people's voice. Now at people's voice at Blabber. And like this video. And subscribe. What did you mean when you said Oleg Bakay would be not be? Oh yeah, it's again the news posts are on top. We're gonna go down here. This article is ridiculous propaganda. Mainstream media have been manipulating your thoughts since the dawn of humanity. Time to get rid of this enemy.
Yeah, he's very opposed to the National Beholder. He sees the National Beholder as mainstream media. He's very hostile to them in general.
Yeah. And then he wrote, Oleg Bakay will certainly not be missed. And then he says, this is a misunderstanding. I am not happy either that Oleg Bakay has gone missing.
Yeah, so he basically contradicts himself.
That's a good question. So, but he claimed that, and then he kind of retreats from his
And then
statement here.
he
It's
steps back from it. Which is what do you believe? Which is his real?
completely true. So it's Oleg Bakay will certainly not be missed, I guess. He's the kind of guy who says that and then says, "Oh no, just a misunderstanding." No, sorry.
We also heard the phone call between them, and he threatens him with death,
Yeah.
or at least it sounds like it. And so, probably
to brag about Bakay's disappearance.
probably not sad about it.
Oh, the listener, he got an email from unknown person. Good luck, Raban. So I see you have decided to make use of my gift to you. A good choice. I am of the impression everything will come to pass exactly as I anticipated. Good luck, and I hope you will achieve our common goals. Your fan, David Johns.
He's got a fan.
got a fan.
That's kind of nice, I think. But we don't. Yeah, she thinks it's cute.
It's cute.
Yeah, but we don't know. We don't know who he is or what they're talking about right now.
So he's just a side person here again, side character. So we're gonna go People's Voice admin panel. But before we do that, I will just go back to this one, and then I will tell you what is completely not good. Completely not good about this cause. Because look at that.
Let's say
Is that you?
a lot of
I have to
work went
disappoint
into them.
you.
But I will tell you right now.
Oh yeah, the voice recordings. I still get nightmares when I think back. During the development of Ignorance, I was mainly busy checking the game for bugs and doing some small scripting tasks until the first voice recordings arrived. In keeping an eye on you, phone calls were silent, so it didn't matter how fast the words were faded in for the player. But now, the words spoken by the voice actors should be displayed in the game at the same time. Theoretically, this could have been automated, but since our programmer Micha still had a lot of work to do anyway, which was more important than that, I was assigned to do it manually. So what exactly had to be done? First, I had to insert some text from Artisy into a TXT document, then upload this document to a website, download the file created there, merge it with the audio file by a small line of code, to finally get a text file in which each word was assigned a timestamp. Sounds relatively simple at first. Well, since this variant recognized the words as anything but reliable, I had to take a close look at the timestamp document and then compare it with the audio file and correct errors one by one. This was made more difficult by the fact that I had no way of checking in advance whether all the errors had really been corrected. This meant that I had to do these changes and then wait for the next build to look at the calls there. Most of the time it turned out after a few seconds that one word was recognized too much or too little, which caused all subsequent sections to shift. That feeling, awesome. So I rummaged out the audio file and timestamp document again and took a close look at both. Often the problem was found quickly. Either there was a slightly different text in Artisy than in the document that the voice actors had received, or the actor added a word while speaking. Especially Ilya's voice actor Matt repeated individual words several times, making his conversations often a bit unclean. He did a great job, but some days I cursed him.
Oh, hey Raban, I didn't expect you to call. I'm getting ready for work.
For 2 or 3 weeks I did nothing but that. I worked like a robot, copying text, uploading files, downloading files, typing lines of code, listening to audio files and correcting timestamp document errors, waiting for a build, despairing because another word had crept in, fixing that bug, waiting for a new build again, seeing that everything works, or not, and all over again and again and again and so on. Altogether, I created 331 timestamp documents and corrected each of them half a dozen times. Doing that day after day, I developed a high degree of perfectionism. Whenever I could, I tried to improve the timing further. When I then see the final result, I do so with pride. For the player, it's just a written word that appears at the same time as the spoken word, but I know what an effort it was to get this result. And whenever I see something like this in other games, I hope they've automated it. Otherwise, to whoever had to do that manually, I feel you.
You of all people should, Oleg Bakay. There is only one thing about truth that is certain. Truth is dead.
Yeah, well, now you know what I have done here. Yeah.
Sorry, Alex.
Yeah, no problem, no problem. Yeah, so we are gonna continue, but first I will ask a few questions from the players. Because one asked, what are your top 3 dystopian future games except from Orwell?
Well, that's a good question. I pretty much adore the Deus Ex games, the game series. That's a pretty interesting game, I believe. Dystopian future, cyberpunk kind of game, which is, I like that it's so much about it's digging into really relevant topics, like what happens if people get augmentations and transcend humanity in a way. That's pretty interesting. I like that a lot, and yeah, like the first game, Deus Ex, the original game, a lot. But I also played the other ones. Another another much shorter game I really like is the Red Strings Club. The Red Strings Club is like a short story about a bartender and a hacker. And they're trying to solve this case of there's a corporate conspiracy to undermine humanity and strip humanity of their, I believe, of their emotions, if I'm right. And it has this large topic about whether emotions are good for people or not. That's a very good philosophical question I like.
And the third one?
A third one, maybe Mirror's Edge. I have to admit I have never really played any game, neither Catalyst nor the first one, but I've heard a lot of good things about them. but I like what I like is the visual style, that it's kind of minimalist, but it's also pretty much it's not that typically dark and gritty dystopian future, but it's like a clean dystopian future. Everything is super clean.
Okay, that should have answered this question. Good, let's move on. We know we have to find something about Raban Vart. So that's the back end of the people's voice.
Yeah, exactly. You now got the back end discussions, and they're not really happy. They're discussing.
Yeah, it sounds like they are accusing us of having kidnapped or killed this man. Yeah, they're talking about this article stating that Raban just threatened him to death or with death.
Yeah, and some of the editors don't. Yeah, they're accusing Raban Vart, and they want to know what's going on there.
Carillo, or Ilya Vart. Ilya Vart, yeah, you know, Ilya. Matt, greetings. Yeah, now we have 3 data chunks here. I have nothing to do with Bakai disappearance. Did I call him? Sure. Did I get a little aggressive? I did. A little aggressive. As you soon will be. Yeah, I'll upload that. Before we left Pargis. Oh, yeah. Yeah, okay. Yeah, it's very, very good. Before we left Pargis, Bakai had his mind set on joining the Pargisian army. He asked me to take care of his 14-year-old daughter, and I said yes.
So, yeah, that seems like a connection. They have the same background. They knew each other before.
Yeah.
And even well enough, so he
both formerly lived in Prava, and
yeah. So we got a connection there. They knew each other when they were both in Pargis.
Oh, I see that you know each other back from where they lived in Pargis. Well done, agent.
It's like I know what Ampleford is going to say.
Yeah, but
I know, and I don't know. Maybe I'm gifted or something.
Yeah, it's just a blind playthrough. You remember that? It's just blind. With the basic connection between the two clarified, our in-depth research of the lead-up to this phone call can now begin. I need you to investigate and download anything that you think is relevant and accurate about the background of these two. Discard anything else. From what you gather, I will put together a theory about what happened, and that's like the thing that Symes said in the first game.
Yeah. So now you're a bit more free to move on.
Yeah, we got
less
here a conflict which is not which has no other data chunk connected right now because we did not found it. Oh, another email. Now Raban writes back to David Johns. David, thank you for your ongoing support and your kind words as always. You have proven yourself to be a true supporter of our cause. You will want to watch the news. I have no doubts there will be a great stir very soon.
So Raban expects something to happen very soon. We should definitely find out what
that's
it is.
Interesting. That's interesting, yeah. For all we know, this guy has been trying to cook up a large-scale stir for years. I don't see it happening quite yet. Yes, he has succeeded to some extent with the ongoing riots, but we can keep the situation under control.
Yeah, he's fueling riots in Pargis, but he's still trying to cook up more conflict.
Now, an unknown person writes about the revised article. Ilya, oh, that's his brother, Ilya Vart. Greetings, Ilya. Matt, greetings. One more thing, this Bakai thing is getting ugly. Just like when we moved to the nation, you're my brother. You know, I go to any length with you. So I'll skip that and just upload this. They moved to the nation. I see, you found your first non-target person. Good. Orwell will keep track of them, but no data chunks or new documents will appear. Yeah, that's basically what you told me about Joseph Langley in the first game.
Yeah. Just works the same.
There he is. Ilya Vart. Ilya Vart speaking. So, Thoughts. That's the city of Prava threat. What are you planning on doing against the FTP? My family and I are thinking about leaving Prava. We have been living in this beautiful town for generations and do not want to leave. But since the FTP started a civil war, we do not feel safe here anymore. What does
Who's the FTP?
FTP was?
Use HTTP. That's what you do about the FTP. Right?
FTP. I nearly have it's P stands for Pagis,
Yeah.
but T I guess maybe troops or something like that. Free troops of Pagis. I don't know.
It's the forces of True Pargas. They get mentioned also in the first game, I believe.
Yeah.
It's this kind of underground rebel terrorist organization.
And they are fighting in Prava against the Pagisian army. As the school's principal, I would therefore consider our options on how to protect the schools and Prava Secondary in particular. So Raban Vard is a school's principal, or was a school's principal back in 2006. So that's a long time ago. Well, that might explain his preachy attitude. So now we got a lot of websites at once, because I just it's a lot of separate ways we can.
Yeah, you can follow anything of that.
Yeah,
You know,
so
because
we've got the journey here.
yeah,
We got new headlines about the crime rate. Yeah, okay. Got this one here. So it's more open in the beginning here.
yeah, you can read a lot of stuff about the school now. He was.
Has requested protection by the Pagisian army. We remember Oleg Bakai was in the Pagisian army as an informant, so maybe that's interesting.
Yeah.
So maybe that's pretty good. Wait, army protection for a school? Seriously? Things must have been bad, or someone must have been really worried. Continue. Okay, it's 12 p.m. The school administration has now decided to provide a protective hideout from combat activities by upgrading our library to a completely autonomous shelter situated in the basement of the school. What a word! What a word!
Yeah, stuff has been really bad in Vargas. And this was
Autonomous
2010.
Shelter at a school seems a bit overprotective, if you ask me. But then again, yeah, it's civil war. Well, not civil war, but something like that. So, yeah, there he is. Shorter hair. If people change their hair,
Yeah.
he's a completely different person. English and philosophy. Okay. Disable. Disable.
Think it's not interesting that he's a philosophy teacher?
No.
And maybe not.
That maybe this will his preachy attitude. Mrs. Nika
Seems you're a bit
Churgrab.
biased.
Mr. Henry Tlekina. Oh yeah, don't do that. Our school, Brava Secondary School Philosophy. The mission of Brava Secondary School is to prepare our students to become independent learners with the mindset, skills, and abilities necessary for lifelong success. This requires student-centered learning supported by educators, families, and our autonomous bomb shelter. And our community. Our autonomous bomb shelter in the basement. That's pretty important. So, we got nothing here to find out, so we go to the journey. A journey. We said goodbye to our dear home. See you on the other side.
Yeah.
So they were refugees, right?
Exactly, yeah. They left their home country a while ago in 2011, and they wrote about it in this, on their page. which seems you might have noticed that this is much quieter.
Yeah.
This is much quieter in tone. They report on how it has been.
Yeah, it's not the truth because there are no caps. It can't be the truth. Yeah, but yeah, it's very, very calm. It's more like a fact-based story they are telling us.
Yeah.
It has been about a week since I started the journey from my hometown Praga to the borders of the nation. So they're getting to the nation. Together with my brother Ilya, who is the only family that I have left, I decided to seek a new life elsewhere. We have lost everything, our workplaces, our homes, and many of our friends. I even lost my ability to walk. The situation in Prague is horrible. So he lost his ability to walk. And how did that happen? That's a good question. But we will not answer that now because
that would be a spoiler.
There would be a spoiler, and you should play the game. So now is the chance for you. Just click on the buy button and buy the game.
Several times, please.
Several times. Make different accounts and just buy the game. Now we will give you some overview over some learnings we had during the development, and then we will be back and wish you a very good day, evening, or whatever. So stay tuned.
Game development is an exciting journey during which you make a whole bunch of experiences. At the very beginning, you usually don't know how the game will be received by the players. The development of Orwell is no exception, which is why we have compiled the most striking learnings. Game mechanics don't need to be complex. Orwell doesn't feature very complex game mechanics. Get a document, find a data chunk, take a data chunk, drop a data chunk. Get a document, find a data chunk, take a data chunk. You see, pretty straightforward. Okay, sometimes there are explicit decisions whenever there are conflicts. In all honesty, we were not sure whether this would be enough to be entertaining for multiple hours. Early on, we thought about adding a search option so you could freely browse the in-game internet, but that kept distracting from the core gameplay, which we wanted to be to decide which information players would give away. Another idea was not highlighting what you can upload, but yeah, turns out that would lead to a pretty hardcore hidden object text game. So in the end, it all boiled down to what it is now. Just decide what to give away and what not to. However, the context in which data chunks appear changes all the time. Sometimes stuff is simply wrong. Cassandra, living in Wonderland, easily spotted misinformation, but by far not everything can be filtered that simply. You have to understand more and more of the events in the game to determine which information is correct. Or whether you want to give away something because maybe you want to manipulate the outcome a bit in favor or against one of the suspects. Anyway, what you definitely need is having a lot of interesting content, which for our game meant having a lot of text. Speaking of which, a lot of text can work in games. Our fear was that Orwell would involve too much reading to be attractive for players. Wanna play a game that involves a lot of reading? Kinda unsexy, isn't it? Yet to our surprise, that wasn't a big issue at all. How did that happen? Ever notice that you actually do read a lot of stuff every day? You read social media, you read text messages, you read emails, you read the news. You read that stupid note from your coworker at the office fridge. Orwell does just the same. It trims the whole long text into short bits you are used to read on a daily basis. Yeah, not that one, that's a bit longer. And just as with real text messages or websites, you don't have to read everything. You can easily skip over stuff that's not of interest to you, such as articles that only highlight some background events. It's your choice what you read and what you're skipping over. Still, there's not much use to the easiness of reading the text in our game if people just wouldn't buy it in the first place. If only there wasn't one problem. Narrative games are tough to talk about. As an indie game development team, you need to talk about your game, because otherwise, well, nobody else is going to do it either. For a less narrative-heavy game, this is often much simpler to do because there's other stuff to talk about and to show than the story. And the story is usually something you don't want to talk about because of spoilers. On top of that, Orwell is not a game that makes a great impression on the first sight. What could we do? Let the story so far speak for itself. Our game was structured into different workdays, so we thought it was a natural fit for a series. The idea was, instead of the usual release when ready episodic format games normally use, to take a slightly different approach and release the episodes weekly, as you'd expect from your favorite TV series. We hoped that would give players enough time to spark discussions between episodes and make them come back to the game on a regular basis. And it worked quite well. The discussion thread on the Steam board for the third episode pretty much exploded, with getting to more than 10 pages on the first day after release alone. Some people even almost managed to figure out the rest of the story. Well, almost. As a developer, it's simply awesome to see people talking and tossing around theories about your game. Actually, did you know it wasn't us who came up with the idea of making the game episodic? It was our publisher. See, publishers can be great. Publishers are greed-driven, faceless corporations swallowing innocent little dev studios for breakfast, right? Well, some might fulfill that cliché, and we also were a bit skeptical at first. You're handing over a lot of control and ownership over what you've worked on for so long. Thank God there are small indie publishers. For us, working with publisher Fellow Traveler Games was a boon. In early 2016 we had hit a low point. The game wasn't ready to be released at all, there were about 2 episodes playable and we were seriously running out of money. Enter Fellow Traveler Games offering a bag full of dollar notes. Well, okay, just figuratively speaking, but you get the idea. We were finally able to focus on development instead of hunting for funding. Of course, funding wasn't the only help our publisher Fellow Traveler Games offered. When you're working on a game, you don't really want to focus on negotiating deals with stores or scream at the press and influencers for attention. If you have a publisher, believe it or not, they will just do that for you. They'll also occasionally get you to trade shows, cut trailers for you, or organize LudoNarraCon. In short, they'll take a lot of weight off your shoulders, which is helpful because making games is a long grind, but also great. Making games can get really exhausting at times. For starters, it's not like you come up with a great idea magically and execute on it. You start doing something, then that doesn't work out, so you try something else, only to realize sooner or later that doesn't work out either. You try again, and again, and again, and again. Also, you can't foresee many of the issues you might encounter on the road. The game just not being fun, that one technical issue that's making the game unplayable for weeks, the team running out of funds, all of that can drive you nuts. Especially if being able to paying your rent and buying food depends on it. Thank God it's also very rewarding. To see people clearly enjoying what you've worked on for so long is just the best thing. Believe me, a nice review or a kind message can make a developer's day. We are speaking from experience. Thanks to everyone who has played our little game or sent a message our way. It really means the world to us.
So, we are back once more, and the last time, I guess, because it's time for us to say a bit goodbye.
Only a bit.
A bit, maybe, a coincidence.
A data chunk of goodbye.
Data chunk, goodbye. So, it was nice to play this game. Blind.
Blind, of course.
With you, Daniel.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you for playing the game with me.
Yeah, no problem.
Asking questions.
Yeah, so now the whole gameplay will start again, because this segment will be repeated the whole weekend over and over again. So if you're watching this right now, it could be the second, the third, or the 5th time that we played this, but it's not live anymore. It wasn't live in the first place, but it's not live now. So
yeah,
just enjoy the LudoNarraCon. Just maybe look at the other games there, and
definitely look at the other games.
not just maybe, because
there's some really good games there.
Yeah, Fellow Traveler Games, thank you for this LudoNarraCon, and yeah, I would say goodbye.
Yeah, goodbye. Thank you for watching, and we hope you enjoyed our little not so live stream.